Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for choosing our show and for the support that you have rendered the channel. I can't take it for granted. Ladies and gentlemen, tension is already building in Mbeere North Constituency ahead of 27th by-election. This by-election is pitting Rigathi Gachagua against William Samoei Ruto. Rigathi Gachagua with the entire united opposition led by Rigathi himself and the DP candidate are squaring it out with DP Kindiki, the deputy president, the man who replaced Rigathi Gachagua. There is Cecily Mbarire, the Embu governor, because Mbeere North is in Embu. And then there is Godfrey Ruto, who was appointed as the Minister for Public Works. And so the lines are already drawn. Rigathi Gachagua is supposed to visit Mbeere North to campaign for their candidate. And already drums of war are being beaten, and some people have got the audacity to warn Rigathi Gachagua not to step to Mbeere North under the full watch of the Inspector General Douglas Kanja.
Sisi hakuna kazi ingine tuko nayo kutoka saa hii mpaka siku hiyo mzee atakuja hapa. Vile anasema ati anakuja kufunga kioski. Sasa ni planning. Siku hiyo akikujaribu kukanyangisha hiyo mguu yake hapa. Hivyo unaona tukiwa hapa. Hakuna kitu kingine tunafanya. Ni planning peke yake. Na yeye Gachagua kia Mungu siku hiyo ndio atanjua watu wa hapa wametairi. Na hata mimi sijui kama yeye alipelekwa hospitali ya masista ndio akafanya hiyo kitu. I'm not sure. Siku hiyo ndio tutanjua kama kweli alitairishwa Kimbere. Watu anajaribu kuleta hiyo upuzi yake hapa.
Akikuja hapa acha makede nyumbani ya dhaisa taikura.
Yes. Akaya akinjua hivyo. Yes. Ama na mwana.
Wewe Rigiji.
Yes.
Na ukikanyaga hapa Mbeere North.
Yes.
Kwanza waache Dorcas, mambo ya kutembea na Dorcas kila saa, hataki kuleta aibu because we respect women. Wewe kuja tupambane.
Yes, kimwanaume.
Yes,
na hapa tuko na another lady ambaye tunaheshimu sana. Huyo ndio anafanya gender balancing in the goons sasa serikali. Yes.
One way.
Yes. Serikali lazima. Hao wengine hawaongeangi. Hawa ni actions only.
Heshimu Mbeere North, my friend Gachagua.
Yes.
Heshimu Mbeere North.
Ile ambayo
repeat, ukikunja Mbeere North, wacha makede nyumbani, others tutakangia hiyo yako kule.
Yes.
Mwambie hiyo 16th akuja, we are ready.
Na tunajua tarehe 16 kutuchezea mind game. Ndio si 16.
Yes.
Tuko rada yako sana.
Onja. Atarigiji ni kama mwisho una pesa
Sawa.
Aende nyumbani. Sasa wametangaza vita na sisi tumetangaza vita. Lakini wanajeshi hawafai kuwa njaa. Wanajeshi hawafai kuwa njaa. In any republic, wanajeshi ndio wanalipwa mshahara wako, alafu watu wengine wanachungwa baada. Sugar. Minji. Hii meeting kwa forward.
And as that is happening, Moses Kuria, who is the leader of the Chama cha Kazi party, has realized something and is saying that the UDA goons are planning to don the Chama cha Kazi merchandise to attack Rigathi Gachagua so that it will be blamed on them. And they are warning that they are not part and parcel of the enmity and the supremacy battle that is happening between William Ruto, DP Kindiki, Cecily Mbarire, and Rigathi Gachagua. This is the Chama cha Kazi candidate in Mbeere North warning and sounding a caution.
Arabu ni kwenda kwera mundu wetagwa UDA. Na nitasema hii kwa Kiswahili alafu nirudie Kimbere. UDA wamesikia Gachagua atakuja hapa hii weekend. Nimesikia wamechukua ati wamepima nguo zetu za CCK. Ati ndio wafanye nini? Ati wakiharibu mkutano isemekane ni watu wa CCK wameharibu chama cha kazi. Hili chama nimesimama nayo. Mmesikia hiyo? Si unasikia watu wako na undako. Sasa Mimi nataka niwaambie hivi, watafute mbinu, sababu hii ingine yote nimewaweza. Watafute mbinu, wakitaka kupigana na Gachagua wapigane, lakini wasitumie nguo za CCK. Kitu ya kwanza, chama chetu chama cha kazi does not tolerate violence. Hatuwezi kubali maneno ya kupigana. Ndio meona sisi tunakuja kwa njia ya amani.
It didn't end there. Moses Kuria wrote to the IEBC, and this is what he wrote very fast. Dear IEBC, it has come to the attention of the Chama cha Kazi that some UDA functionaries are planning to disrupt His Excellency Rigathi Gachagwa's campaign tour dressed in Chama cha Kazi uniforms. They will also demand a sum of 10 million Kenya shillings, which Honorable Rigathi Gachagua allegedly took from our candidate, Honorable Duncan Bui. For record, Honorable Gachagua does not owe any money to Honorable Mbui, and any claims to that effect should be treated with the contempt they deserve. More importantly, CCK had taken a zero-tolerance position on electoral violence, having witnessed what happened in 2007-2008. This is a position of deep principle, and nothing on earth will make us depart from this position. We continue to urge IEBC to take this matter seriously, as what will happen on November 27th is a harbinger of what will happen on 10th August 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, Moses Kuria is simply distancing himself from the planned violence against Rigathi Gachagua. He knows very well that he will have no place in Mount Kenya if he is associated with any kind of violence in Mount Kenya. And remember, Mbui himself was supposed to be the UDA candidate, but because of the unity within the opposition, Rigathi decided to support the DP candidate. Now, Rigathi Gachagua is also not taking any chances, and he has decided to be very official on this. It has written a letter to the Inspector General Douglas Kanja, and this is what Rigathi Gachagua is saying, because sometimes you have to document some things for the record so that should anything happen, you will have the upper. This was today, 12th November 2025. The DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua, EGS PO Box, that Nairobi, telephone and all that. The head of this letter is threats of election violence in Mbeere North Constituency. I will not read the whole of it because it's a long letter. So Rigathi Gachagua continues to say this. My attention has been drawn to the widely circulated social media videos threatening election violence ahead of 27th November by-election in Mbeere North, which you are undoubtedly aware of. In particular, a clip showing Mr. Simon Njagi Njiru, alias Gikundo wa Gikundo, Mr. Josiah Kariuku Ngari, alias Mtetezi Paf, Susan Nyaga, among others, issuing threats of violence on the people of Mbeere North and myself when I go to campaign for the candidate of my choice from 16th November. He goes on to say, despite the evidence and information in your custody, the above persons have not been arraigned. We demand that ahead of the by-elections, the above persons must be arrested immediately, arraigned, and charged under the penal code. You are well aware that the above people and others in the video clip are close associates of Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire and Cabinet Secretary Honorable Geoffrey Ruku, who is also the immediate former MP from Mbeere North constituency, with Mr. Simon Njagi Njiru, alias Gakundo Wagakundo, serving as a Director of Communications for Governor Cecily Mbarire. Now it goes on to say, we further demand that the people of Mbeere North be allowed to exercise their democratic rights to vote a candidate of their choice. No one shall be allowed to force candidates to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very lengthy letter there. I don't want to read the whole of it, but this is part of it. You can read it on your own. Ladies and gentlemen, in this century when William Ruto is saying that he is in charge of the country and he wants to take Kenya to the next level, like Singapore, economically. William Ruto must understand that he's in charge of the social, economic, and political affairs of the country. And as he yearns to take Kenya to the next level economically, politically, we should also be a people who are civilized, a people who behave with the decorum. Moses Kuria has chosen to distance himself from this political battle. And it is a supremacy battle between William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. And I have a feeling that William Ruto has placed an ultimatum to Kithure Kindiki, Godfrey Ruku, who is the immediate MP of that place. In fact, it was as a result of his appointment to the cabinet that that seat remained vacant. And of course, Cecily Mbarire is in her own county. She does not want to be defeated. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. This kind of supremacy battle is only injurious to the people, the innocent people. Those people that I've mentioned, I don't think Mbarire, Ruku, or Kithure Kindiki have got any children that are participating in that kind of violence. And so we should condemn these acts with the contempt and in the strongest terms possible. Everyone has the liberty and the right to travel everywhere. William Ruto himself must not pretend that he does not understand that UDA has got no place in Mount Kenya. As a matter of fact, William Ruto must not forget that in 2022, he woodwinked the whole Mount Kenya and they abandoned their own son, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. They abandoned Jubilee and they switched to UDA. So he must understand that it is very normal that people switch allegiance depending on interest, because politics is about interest. Kithure Kindiki and the group must understand that loyalty cannot be forced. And if they have been given a condition that they must deliver that seat, it is very unfortunate. For Kithure Kindiki, he's looking at 2027. If he loses that election, then William Ruto will tell him, you are not worth being my running mate. And I know he's fighting tooth and nail for it. But I want you to note that there can only be one leader in a region. Others can play second fiddle. I don't understand why the threats are very common. I remember in Nyanza, after the death of Raila Amolo Odinga, people started warning Babu Owino that he was seeking to become the kingpin, and therefore some people, others wanted to deal with him, some certain leaders. While the spirit seems to have landed on him, there are people who feel threatened. The people feel we've been here in the political field for some times, yet the journey come late, want to displace us, and they feel very bad. People who are fighting or who are planning to fight in Mount Kenya are fighting for one man, who is gaining the president of the country, William Samoei Ruto, because both Kithure Kindiki, Godfrey Ruku, and even Cecily Mbarire are only fighting to prove to the president that they are loyal and they are able and they are in charge. So as brothers and sisters are planning to kill each other, they are benefiting not any of them in that country, but they're benefiting William Samoei Ruto. Have you seen what is happening in the Rift Valley? William Ruto has allowed dissenting voices. You've seen Alfred Keter. If you go to the ex-handle of Alfred Keter, he's posting things that are anti-William Ruto, but you've never seen anyone going baying for his blood. What William Ruto has done is to seduce those who are within the Rift Valley. And if there is any intimidation, then it is done very secretively that you cannot know. I saw Buzeki switch camps to William Ruto. The former Baringo Senator, Gideon Moi, switched camp to William Ruto after a lengthy meeting. So his backyard is quiet despite different voices. Yet in other regions, those who are fighting for him want to kill each other to please him. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to be wiser than this. Douglas Kanja is in charge of the police that is supposed to maintain law and order. And if it is true that those videos are true, and he has seen them, I believe, because the NIS and the DCI are on top. In fact, if there is a place where the budgetary allocation is given more money, is the NIS. They are supposed to be on top of their affairs. They are supposed to know what is happening in the country. And you cannot tell me that the police does not know what is happening in Mbeere North. Those people who are in that video have been mentioned by their names. And so it is incumbent upon the police to take action. And if they refuse to take action, then we only know one thing. We have always said that every department in this country is in the pocket of the executive. And so they are going to corroborate the allegations that have been going on, that they don't want to exercise their independence. They are just working with orders. William Ruto has continued to iterate that he created an autonomous police and that he does not command them. But after we've seen William Ruto commanding the police, shoot the legs, and what is happening here, we can safely conclude that these people are working for William Samoei Ruto. And it is very bad. Are you now saying that any other candidate, for example, must not visit Rigathi's backyard, for example, in Nyeri? Because you do that to Rigathi Gachagua, Rigathi has a following even in Mbeere North. So what do you want them to do? If the police is not going to take charge, then you are only leaving Rigathi Gachagua with one option, to defend himself. And you know what that means? Violence begets violence. We are really worried because ahead of 2027, as Moses Kuria says, there is going to be river blood flowing. Because if we have leaders who are entertaining political violence instead of policies, then you know what will happen. Rigathi has said he's going to Mbeere North and he's got the right to do it. He's got 90% of supporters in that region, if you ask me. And I know there are few people who sit in offices, those who are benefiting directly from the leadership of the country or of the county or the country that are planning this. They must not be allowed to succeed. And the only thing to do is that people should come out in their numbers to listen to Rigathi Gachagua, to protect him. Because if they come out in their numbers, nothing will happen. It will now force, for example, the police to start throwing tear gas and live bullets, and that will expose them badly. I don't think in this century we should be fighting. Our fight should be based on policies. We've got Chama Chakazi, we've got UDA, and we've got, I think those are the audio Farasi, those are the horses and maybe others. Why should we intimidate each other? A kingpin is a kingpin. Even if you block Rigathi Gachagua, for example, if today you decide to block Rigathi Gachagua, he will still remain the kingpin of Mount Kenya. Or you want to show that he's a coward, you know that Rigathi is not a coward, he will come. And the more you intimidate Rigathi Gachagua, the more you make him popular. Allow Rigathi Gachagua to campaign. He has already declared Ruto one term. And he will continue to declare William Ruto and Cecily Mbarire as one-term leaders. Let him campaign and go back to his home. Because if you attack them, the people will arm themselves and you will kill each other. Ladies and gentlemen, let people not allow themselves and subject themselves to be used by the leadership. I'm against violence. There's nothing good in violence. And if this is what is going to happen in 2027, I fear for my country. Let us just shun violence. Let us refuse. You see, the only remedy to this is simple. Refuse. Just decline to go and attack your fellow Kenyan. It is very shameful. As I do this video, I've not checked whether the police responded. And I want to see the sentiments of the police on this.